You know what motivational speakers always do? They always inspire people to do the best. You should be determined. It's like a mountain climb. You climb the Everest. But what happens once you climb the Everest? Once it's done, do you get back down and climb up again? That's not the case. The more difficult part is to park yourself up there and make a home for you on the top of the Everest. And flying high above the Everest are the skies where only a few dare to go, and we have with us in our season 4 today. I'm so happy to say that we are back with another round of episodes. हम लोग सीजन 4 ऑफ लीडर्स टुडे में आ चुके हैं, और इतनी जल्दी आने का कारण यही था क्योंकि आप लोगों ने हमें बहुत सराहा, बहुत डिमांड आई, एंड मेनी पीपल वांटेड टू लिसन टू मोर स्टोरीज दैट मोटिवेट, क्योंकि ये आपकी कहानी है और आपकी जुबानी है। और उन्हीं बादलों में उड़ते हुए आज हमारे बीच हैं 4C एविएशन के एमडी मिस्टर संतोष शर्मा, जिन्होंने अपनी जर्नी 15 साल पहले शुरू करी। एंड बिलीव मी, एक बच्चा जो सिर्फ एरोप्लेन्स के साथ खेलता था और उसकी टिमटिमाती लाइट्स से फैसिनेटेड था, today owns one of the biggest charter companies in the country. Welcome to the show, Mr. Santosh. How do you feel?
Absolutely, it's an absolute pleasure to be on the show. Thank you, Sudarshan, and thank you for this platform. Thank you.
No, I have met a lot of business leaders. हमने काफ़ी लोगों से बात करी, but your story cuts above in a very different way, क्योंकि it talks more about life taking its own turn, right?
True.
क्योंकि आपने जिस तरह से बताया कि आपके फादर used to, whenever he used to fly, he used to come back and get you some small plane
Right.
toy and all that, but you did not know कि वो आपके अंदर किस तरह से manifest होता जा रहा है.
True. In fact, when Dad used to travel so much, he was in Tata Group in Jamshedpur. So he would every time get me the small plane, and I would get very fascinated कि ये होता क्या, what is it all यार, I mean उड़ता कैसे है, and as a small kid, it all starts building into yourself, and little did I know that once, in my lifetime, that it will actually become my passion. Now I say, I eat, dream, sleep aircraft. So I guess I'm very lucky enough that what I dreamt and what I wanted to become in life and what I wanted in my life, I've got it. And then, as I very famously say that, I'm living my dream now.
And you're very well read at that too. मतलब it is not a dream just landed into your lap. आपने काफी मेहनत भी करी इसके लिए. You're a gold medalist in economics from National College, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right.
Right?
That's right. In fact, not many people know, but then I started my work life from selling juices and selling popcorns on the roads in Bombay while I was doing my graduation, and I still managed to be the topper of my college because I firmly believe that if you want to do something, just love it. And this is not philosophy, this is a fact. I loved everything that I do. Even today, I just make sure that if I'm not enjoying something, I don't do it. So right from my college days, when I was selling popcorns or juices or selling keychains outside liquor shops, to getting into an ad agency, to films, I think I have been enjoying myself.
That is a very interesting perspective जो आपने बताया. दर्शकों, बहुत interesting बात ये है कि you are in love with what you do. इसलिए मैं ये particularly मानता हूँ that when somebody says that कि क्या struggle किया life में, I somehow am not able to come to terms with the word struggle, क्योंकि अगर आप struggle कर रहे हैं, you are not loving it.
Very true.
So I think जो भी succeed करता है, it is not struggle for them. It is joy. Absolutely. It is the joy of doing and the spirit of doing that, actually.
मेरे ख्याल से जो business शुरू किया मैंने, it happened by accident. Or as a middle class person, I never thought I'd start one business. I was very peacefully working in a company for 4 years as the head of sales and marketing.
I'll just interfere a little यहाँ पे. Every middle class person thinks so. Even I'm from that background, so I can absolutely relate with it. And that is why this show is just for you and the story is for you.
So, the person who is actually, I would say, responsible for me getting into my own business is my wife. She in fact told me in 2009 when I left my company, she said, you are a highly emotional person. Now that you leave this job, you'll join another job. Then again, you leave the job, again you'll cry, you'll get emotional. Why don't you do your own? This was 29th of September 2009. And that's where things changed. So very next day we started a company. On 1st October, we launched our company 4C Aviation. And And I think rest all is a history. I guess it's been a wonderful journey. So all credit goes to my wife, and she's the one who got me into the business.
Well, I think that is the case with so many business leaders that I have interviewed, and how their wives have played such an important part in their lives. And I think they're one of the strongest pillars without which, we can't do what we are doing.
True.
They are an institute and an industry in themselves. I would put it that way.
Absolutely. In fact, I personally believe that, even today when she's my business partner, she can see beyond business, and that's very important because I am typical salesman. I keep running, behind clients and getting new clients, business. But she, as an individual, I keep telling to people, like, she looks beyond business, which is very important. And that keeps your business growing, actually.
And that's how you maneuver into that entire game, and you're able to, carve your victory out of there.
Absolutely. And then it's very important because you cannot do everything in the business. So if I'm good at sales, I'm good at strategizing things. Ajuka, my business partner, of course, my wife, she's very good in finance. She's very good in, managing things back in the office. She is extremely good in operations part of it. So I think we play this game very, very swiftly and very efficiently, I guess, and that's very important. And of course, कहते हैं ना कि a team is as good as, a company is as good as a team. So if you are having a good team, you can go a long way. Otherwise, you'll crash any moment.
How do you manage that emotional part and the business part? Because you deal in very high currency. I think आपका एक ticket size should be anywhere around, if I'm not mistaken, an average of around 15 to 20 lakhs का तो होता ही होगा.
True.
So
Sudarshan, it's a myth actually. Long time back, about I guess 25 years back, when I discussed the same thing with my uncle. He's a social activist in Jamshedpur. And he said कि किसने बोला कि emotional लोग business नहीं कर सकते. And this is a big myth. This is I think one of the biggest myth I've ever heard. Emotions is equally important in business because that's how you're able to feel the customer's pain. You're able to meet that demand. If you're not emotional, if your E quotient is not very high, I don't think so. You can be successful in any part of life. Right?
And on top of it, emotions का मतलब है involvement.
Absolutely.
If you are not emotional,
Absolutely.
you will never be involved with your work. आप
Exactly.
उसके साथ, you cannot be involved with your work. And if you're not involved with your work, I don't think you're doing any kind of justice to either the work or the customer or even to yourself.
No, that's very true. In fact, what is revenue? You say we talk about revenue, balance sheet. What is that? That is an outcome of an effort you put in the company. That effort, it comes in the form of when you actually get close to your client. You get involved with the customer. You understand what the customer actually requires. If he wants an X plane and you don't understand why he's asking for that X aircraft for his flight, and you're giving him a Y plane, which is wrong. You're not understanding the client. So I personally say that if you don't understand your customer's requirement properly, there's no way you're going to get success in business, or for that matter in any part of your life.
Yeah, what about the
So
business?
that's emotions. That emotion. Who says emotions is the soft thing? Emotions is absolutely very, very, very critical to grow your business. Right? So I personally believe there's nothing wrong in being emotional.
Going forward with these emotions, how are your emotions during the COVID time? Because that was a time when everything was literally struck down. But आपके साथ बात करके I've had an amazing revelation जो आपने दिया, and it is a life altering and life changing insight. What would you like to share regarding that, if you could repeat?
Sudarshan, जब COVID आया ना, तो it came as a shock to everyone. I mean, the entire human mankind was like, shocked. They were in a state of shock कि है क्या चीज़. So was I. But then I realized that this is a time to actually rebuild yourself. And this is not emotional, this is not philosophy, this is a fact. So in fact, during COVID, I started another company, right, which was into networking and getting small and medium entrepreneurs under one platform, helping each other with the contacts. That worked brilliantly. That is still there with us. As far as aviation is concerned, my company, initially first 2-3 months, the business was low. But then soon in May 2020, the airport was being opened for charters. And believe me, we had a lot of business. And you won't believe this. About 80% of the customers who flew during COVID with us, they were new customers. They have never flown charters in the past. They were new customers, number one. Number two, out of that, about 42% people stayed back and still doing charters. Right? Some of them have gone back and using commercial plane. Out of that 42%, there are about 7 to 8% people who are now deliberating on buying their own private jet. Huge number. But what is more important, and I say it very strongly, during COVID, one thing happened, where people realize one thing, that पैसा जो होता है ना, वो रखने के लिए नहीं होता है. Money is to utilize, to use, because Many of us lost our family members, friends during COVID.
Oh, we saw death from close quarters, the closest quarter ever.
And we never thought a person who's absolutely fit and fine is no longer the next day. Then we realized one thing, that बहुत जिंदगी ना मिलेगी दोबारा, जिंदगी कल नहीं है, आज है जिंदगी, आज जियो आप. So one thing that I've seen a lot of people in my business and personal life also, that people now started living life now. They've started spending money. As an spending money doesn't mean that you're going to just throw your money.
So it has made people realize the value of life, basically. You know, and the importance of spending time. So it's not about, देखिए पैसा कमाना बहुत जरूरी, आप जरूर कमाएंगे, लेकिन उस चीज का क्या फायदा कि आपने कमाया और आप उसे खर्च ही ना कर पाए. Now I always say one thing, you know, मेरा एक बड़ा close friend है, तो when we discuss, he somehow related to the medical fraternity, and he always says कि इंडिया में 65-year-olds you'll find only in a hospital line and not in a trekker's corner or in a biker's corner, whereas when you look at foreigners you find them everywhere at that age. ये खुशी अब आपके पास आपके घर तक पहुंच सकती है. कैसे? Because आपने बुक माई शो तो देखा होगा, बुक माई ट्रिप भी देखा होगा, बट नाउ यू विल बी बुकिंग योर जेट ऑन बुक माई जेट. टेल अस मोर अबाउट दैट. सच an amazing concept.
Thank you. In fact, about 2 years back, around 3 years back, I was sitting with a client and then he asked me कि संतोष मेरे को ना देहरादून से दिल्ली आना है परसों. I said ठीक है, I'll send a plane to देहरादून. बोलता नहीं नहीं नहीं, I just want देहरादून Delhi. I said okay fine, but then I don't have any plane. So that day something struck me. I said why can't we have a platform where anybody who wants to fly a private jet can actually see the aircraft on a real-time basis on any platform, which is a mobile phone, right? So that's where Book My Jet was born. Now we are almost 2.5 years old now, right? But then we thought there are some elements, there are some features that need to be integrated.
Upgraded, yeah.
And then we thought, you know, so right now the work is on Book My Jet, which will be available on mobile as well as on a web app. It's like on a laptop from 15th October itself. Right now we already have an app, but we are integrating a lot of features in that. इसकी सबसे बड़ी खासियत यही है कि आज डेट पे कोई चेयरमैन अगर है, कोई भी है जो who has got value for time, of course. Let's example वो कहीं पर let's example ट्रिवेंड्रम में है और सडनली उनकी मीटिंग कैंसिल हो जाती है and he has a flight late in the night. तो वो चेयरमैन क्या करेंगे, वो CXO क्या करेंगे, he'll get desperate कि I want to go back to Bombay for my meetings and etc. But he can't do because there's no flight. But then on a mobile phone or on a laptop, if his secretary or he himself can see that there's a private plane standing there in Trivandrum that particular time, he can actually activate that. He can see all the information on the mobile app, and with a click of a button he can actually book that plane and get to his destination within no time.
That is amazing, and it's so amazing to know and learn of all these plans that you have, and this is indeed a brilliant idea. Book My Jet. I wish someday I also book one. Definitely. And fly with you on one of those dream destinations. Definitely. Before signing out, since time is pressing, we kind of overshot, but still I would like to know something. What is the one thing that has motivated you to keep going on, no matter what you faced?
Many things, but then I personally believe in one thing that like if I'm not happy doing something, I don't do it. So every day, every minute, every second of my life, I enjoy myself. If today is a Monday and people normally get Monday blues, I don't get any blues for that matter. I enjoy every moment of my life, and I tell my team also that if you're not happy working on a certain day, go back home. Go for a movie, enjoy yourself. But then if you're not happy, don't come to the office.
That is such an amazing thing. Happiness is everything. Your first duty is towards yourself, because God, Almighty Creator, whoever it is, the unseen force, जिन्होंने हमें पैदा किया, इस सृष्टि में, उन्होंने हमें एक रूप दिया, एक रूपांतर दिया, हमें एक पर्सनालिटी दी. हमारा सबसे पहला कर्तव्य उसके प्रति है to serve ourselves first, to look after ourselves first, and that is the way to thank the Almighty. And once you do that, you will be blessed for life, and you'll head on to win your own battles and win all the challenges that come across. सभी सपने पूरे होंगे वैसे ही जैसे संतोष शर्मा ने किए. Sudarshan Ramakrishna Chitlur, I'm so happy to be back on season 4 of Leaders today with our first guest. Stay with us, we'll be coming up with our second guest very soon. Thank you. But what made him? Where is that material that made him? Now we have somebody who is carving a life and becoming successful. So I want to dig into that part so that is what people can understand, right?
Yes, your legacy matters more than anything else in the world. You die one day, but what remains behind, like you mentioned earlier, is your character.
It has always been believed that you are defined by the company you live with, you know, a company of people, and more so you're defined by the environment you live in. Now environment, matlab, see, an order within oneself, आपके अंदर जो शांति है ना, it is a reflection कि आपके आसपास के वातावरण में कितनी शांति है. आपकी जो मन की सुंदरता है वो उस पर डिपेंड करता है कि आप कितने सुंदर एटमॉस्फेयर में रहते हैं. और आपके एक्सपीरियंसेस को बेटर करने के लिए आई हैव समवन वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग, आवर सेकंड गेस्ट. वेलकम बैक टू द सेकंड पार्ट ऑफ द शो, सीजन 4 फर्स्ट एपिसोड. वी हैव प्रियंका सिंह फ्रॉम चौक स्टूडियो, जो कि एक इंटीरियर डिजाइनर है, काफी हाई प्रोफाइल प्रोजेक्ट्स करती हैं और अपनी एक छोटे करियर के अंदर उन्होंने, जैसा कि मैंने पिछले गेस्ट के सामने बताया था, उनके रहते ऑलरेडी हिमालय की चोटी तक पहुंच चुकी है. मेरा मानना यह है क्योंकि इस उम्र में वहां तक पहुंचना बहुत मुश्किल होता है. वेलकम टू द शो प्रियंका सिंह.
थैंक यू फॉर हैविंग मी हियर.
नहीं, आई थैंक यू प्रियंका बिकॉज यू विल सेट एन एग्जांपल फॉर सो मेनी यंग माइंड्स and you will set them ablaze with passion. आपने मतलब इस उम्र में आप यहाँ पे पहुंचे. मैं खास करके इसलिए बोल रहा हूँ, आई एम सॉरी बिकॉज यू नो आई डोंट मीन टू कम टू योर एज, बट हम लोग देखते हैं कि प्रोडिजीज कैसे होते हैं, यू नो, एंड यू आर गोइंग टू बिकम वन. यू आर इन द प्रोसेस, यू आर ऑलरेडी देयर, और आगे जाके आप कितनी लाइफ्स को इम्पैक्ट करने वाली है. तो इसलिए आपकी कहानी बताना बहुत जरूरी है क्योंकि दर्शक सभी आपसे बहुत प्रेरित होंगे.
Wow, I feel so flattered. Thank you so much. I don't think I'm a prodigy, but I've just worked all my life. That's all I've known. तो मैं भाई करती आ रही हूँ.
नहीं, जो आपसे जो मेरा डिस्कशन हुआ था पहले, you know, when we were discussing, you said that कि you know, आपने 12th class में ही you started applying for universities outside. You were so determined. What made you do that?
I don't know. I think I've always been ambitious. So is my father. So I think having that inbuilt in me was something that made me apply to universities, not just to one college in New York, but to multiple all across the globe.
Okay, so you were applying, और आपके पेरेंट्स को पता था ये?
नहीं.
क्यों नहीं पता था और आपने क्यों नहीं बताया?
ये इसलिए था because जब मैं छोटी थी, I think I come from a very conservative family. तो भी यही था with safety and all with women कि अच्छा बाहर नहीं जाना, घर में पढ़ना है, ये नहीं करना, वो नहीं करना, 8 बजे के बाद बाहर ही निकलना, can't go for sleepovers, can't wear skirts, can't wear dresses, can't wear cut sleeves. So I think I was always brought up with that mentality कि अच्छा मैं यहाँ पर ही पढ़ूंगी. But obviously back then I was in 12th standard. I think अभी internet was sort of taking up in India specifically. So we used to Google like our answers or try to figure out on stuff on the internet. And at that point I'd heard of Parsons. So I applied behind my parents' back. And I think they only found out when my dad got a message on his phone saying आपका ना इतने पैसे deduct हो गए bank account से.
Oh.
Because I had to apply and use the money to apply. So I had my dad's card details. So he came back home that day like बेटा आपने क्या किया ये? I've just applied. I'll probably not get in. Don't worry. And then I got in. And then उसके बाद and it was all history. Then I convinced them for over 2 months कि नहीं मुझे जाना है. And then I got scholarship also. It made it easier for them.
ऐसी क्या बात कही आपने उनसे जो उन्होंने मतलब अपने सारे fears होते हुए भी, I wouldn't say they dropped their fears. No parent can do that. I can't do that with my 12-year-old. Or even with my wife, or my wife can't do that with me as well. I think we all fear for each other.
Right.
लेकिन what is that one thing you said?
It's about my future, and I think I can see myself living there because I was born and brought up in Gurgaon, so proper Haryanvi, through and through. If I don't expose myself to what's out there, I'll never grow as a person. So it's very important for me. Even at that age, I knew I have to broaden my horizons. I have to see what's out there to become the best or to become better than what I am today. So that's, I think, what prompted me to sort of have multiple conversations over multiple days with my parents. उनको बैठा के I should get them tea. अब प्लीज बैठिए, मेरी बात सुनिए. And then I think
So आपका कहना कि मतलब ये है कि अपने पेरेंट्स के साथ बात करके अपनी मन की बात बताना बहुत ज़रूरी है.
हाँ बिल्कुल. I think they'll not agree with you. बहुत गुस्सा भी होंगे पहले कि नहीं कैसे बात कर सकते हो. But I think with time they got used to it. They were like अच्छा ठीक है, like we understand. And I think it helped that my father also spoke to his office.
Yeah, his peers. He would have spoken to many people.
And all, and then they were like, "Acha, theek
I'll
hai."
come to a very important question over here. You know, कि youth get frustrated. I'm sure you must be looking at children of today and you must be pulling your hair as well. I don't know where our generation is going at times when you look at that. I do that many times definitely, because it's like bouncers to me. I feel like I'm the same dinosaur that your father was to you and that to my son maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, but then apart from all that, there's a lot of frustration building up. Now this is where I want to bring your focus to. How did you handle that, and what would you say to youngsters out there who are wanting to break free from the shackles of whatever belief systems they are caught in, so that they could break free and explore their own lives and fly like a free bird in the sky? A modern youth telling this to other people out here.
Perseverance. कुछ भी हो जाए, don't give up. I think regardless of wherever you are in your life, be it you're a 12-year-old person who's trying to figure life out, just hit puberty, or you're 60-year-old, जो भी करना है, I think just persevere no matter what. Like you have to work through things. Problems तो आएंगी, सबके life में problems आती है.
And what would you say about positivity?
It's very important to manifest, even if you're not feeling a certain way during the beginning of a day. Like I'm tired, whatever. It's very important that you manifest positivity in your life. I will, listen, today is Monday, I will have an amazing day no matter what, and I will conquer today.
मैं इसलिए आपसे ये सवाल पूछ रहा हूँ because see, we are definitely going to talk about your interior design and the success over there, the kind of client you have built. But it is very important to know, I always used to believe in this, that I'm not interested who Gandhi ji was, but what made him? Where is that material that made him? Now we have somebody who is carving a life and becoming successful. So I want to dig into that part so that is what people can understand, right?
Yes, your legacy matters more than anything else in the world. You die one day, but what remains behind, like you mentioned earlier, is your character.
Yeah, absolutely, your character. So work on that. Matlab ki don't take a step back, like it will happen again. The more you wear out the new ball, the better you will have a position as a player in a test match. That's what I say basically. So you have to learn how to wear out the fast bowlers and face those bouncers. That's what it is all about, right?
Yes, definitely.
Be a good defense player. Then you can get on the offensive when the right ball comes, right? Exactly.
Correct. Love your analogies. I think I'm a huge fan of your analogies in general.
Well, the interests come from many different quarters of life that I have been into, so that's why it makes all these discussions even more interesting. Sports, music, painting, architecture, everything put together. Yeah. So let's come to your studio. What are the kind of projects you're handling? You have Hayat as a client.
Yes.
You have Indri, the Indian single malt whiskey as a client. You're building an experience center for them in Karnal where people can experiment with it. How cool is that?
It's amazing. I think one of the most exciting sort of stuff I've done so far would be this experience center, because that means in that one place you have a museum, you have like a really nice experience center for people to come in, you have a lab, you have a gourmet kitchen, you have a place where someone can go individually and experiment with their single malt whiskey, and a place where you can actually leave a print behind. Okay, listen, like where Priyanka Singh was here on so and so date, and you buy a whiskey and you put that cork into the wall as like a thing to be remembered by. So I think it's just going to be extremely enriching as an experience, because I don't think India has something like this with any of their alcohols till date.
And okay, coming back to that part again, you have Hayat also as a client. It's one of the biggest groups in hospitality.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have them in India.
How does it feel, or how does Priyanka Singh feel to have Hayat as a client, and how does Hayat feel to have Priyanka on their roles as one of the most trusted consultants when it comes to interior design? I mean, it's a feather of jealousy for anyone.
I hope not, but I think I'm sure they're very happy. We get our payments every month on time, so very happy about that. I think working with them has been amazing. They are surprisingly extremely open to the suggestions from our end. And whatever we've suggested so far has been incorporated. So
how did it come about, and how do you feel working for these people? What is the difference? क्योंकि बहुत से ऐसे आपके जैसे आपकी उम्र के और अलग और तरीके के भी डिजाइनर्स होंगे जिनके पास इस तरीके के क्लाइंट्स होंगे, या वो चाहते होंगे कि उनके ऐसे क्लाइंट्स बने. तो आप कैसे मैनेज करते हैं? What is it that you would advise to them कि this is how, when you get into the bigger picture, you need to do things like that?
Hire the best talent out there. don't skim out on hiring talent. People like, oh, itna mehenga hai. How will I pay someone 1 lakh a month? How will I pay 3 lakhs a month? Doesn't matter. I have not taken salary in the past 5 years because I truly believe I'm giving everything back to my company. That's number one. Number two is, don't be afraid of failures at all. That is a part and parcel of life. I realize more often than not, people get so afraid of failure, they don't even take the leap. कि अच्छा नहीं, मगर मुझे पता है I'll go like rejected. If I go with them, if I have to go to hire tomorrow with like a boxes filled like, sir, I want to work with you, whatever it is, people don't do that step.
Well, it raises my hopes to start acting once I thought of.
Please, I think everyone should.
No, definitely. I'll do my bit whenever it comes to that. But what you have said is simply amazing. You know, leap of faith.
Yeah.
उसको यही कहते हैं कि अगर आपने कदम ही नहीं लिया तो अचीवमेंट का सवाल ही नहीं पैदा होता. Only if you do something will you stir something. You know, I always say, you know, there's a lake या समंदर में एक कंकड़ डालने से कुछ नहीं होगा, लेकिन एक रिपल जरूर पैदा होगा. You know, and when you do that continuously, वो रिपल बहुत बड़ा होगा और वो छोर तक पहुंचेगा.
Yeah, and I've been rejected so many times. So if I tell you my number of successes is this much, my failures are like never ending. So I think you don't see that when you sort of see someone being successful, because you don't understand that at the back, I have failed almost every single day, or like been rejected at some point or the other, where I felt so embarrassed and so demotivated. Shit, yeah, how did this happen to me?
हाँ, ये मेरे साथ कैसे हो सकता है?
हाँ, correct.
आप ही के साथ हो सकता है क्योंकि आप ही ने कदम लिया था. सिंपल सी बात है. तो और आप ही के साथ सक्सेस भी आएगा क्योंकि आप ही ने कदम लिया है. It's only that आपको खेलते रहना है. That is the entire spirit, right?
Correct.
What a wonderful learning, Priyanka. You know, you brought to the table such fresh thought and energy, seldom seen in the youth, and I am so happy because, you know, the youth of our country are so bright and so shining and so inspiring, like Priyanka Singh over here, who's come from Chalk Studios. Yeah. What is the one thing that has always kept you on your path? No matter what. आपने अभी बोला, a lot of failures, I mean the list of failures is more than the list of success.
Correct.
So what is it that you have practiced that brought you till here?
Practiced in terms of to keep myself going every day?
Yeah, absolutely. क्योंकि वहीं पे लोग गिरते हैं ना.
I think I have insane ambition like my father. I feel like I would regret it more अगर मैं वो स्टेप नहीं लूंगी.
Wow,
yeah.
That is the first that I have heard, and I'm so happy आपने ये बात बोली, because I remember I told this exact statement to my father about 20 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. This was in 1999 when I told him the same thing. I think 99 या 2000 की बात थी. And I don't want to be lying on my deathbed and say I didn't do that.
Yeah, I don't have regrets.
Absolutely. Hats off to you, Priyanka. You actually, you know, validated what I thought, or vindicated what even I thought, and that's the right way.
Yeah.
And from the whole team of leaders today, we wish you the best of luck for the future.
Thank you.
From 0 to 40 people in 5 years, and I say in the next to 400, may your offices be everywhere and you keep rising and inspiring everybody. और हम जरूर किसी ना किसी और सीजन में जरूर आपके साथ मिलें. With that, याद रखिए, don't have regrets in life. और वही प्रियंका ने हमें आज सिखाया है. Sudarshan signing off, and I thank my sponsors once again. Samay Enterprises, one of the best interior design companies in the country today. We have rupiyapaisa.com जो हमारे साथ इस सीजन में भी है, changing the lives of people around the nation. Cloud Access, the first and one of the most secure cloud platforms in the country. And how can we forget Benson Trophies, the #1 trophy manufacturer in India. I am wearing a suit by Tajiri. Thank you, Siddhant Chandra. It's been a wonderful season last time, and we have come back with a bang again, and we're here to say, and your love will never let us die, and we'll be back with more stories. See you in the next episode again. Sudarshan Ramakrishna Chittur signing off.